people of Saggart, it's the permanency of this. And I have, I know you're going to be speaking to some people, but I have a kind of a short letter from a lady who she didn't actually want to come on the air, but she's 75. And if I could just read what she said, because I just feel it tells very well. Anyway, so she says, I'm a resident of Saggart, born and lived here for the past 75 years. I'm so saddened by what our lovely village has now become. Although Saggart has been growing in population over the last number of years, we are now bursting at the seams because of the number of people in Citywest Hotel. We simply do not have the infrastructure to support ourselves as residents, never mind anyone else. There is now no hotel in the vicinity for our social needs. Citywest was the hub of Saggart, where every social event took place. We had a thriving tourism business in the village because of the hotel and its facilities. They were great times. There is now a lot of unease in the village. I'm fearful of going to the cemetery to visit my late husband's grave, because men sitting around the cemetery drinking and smoking, and she says what with a question mark. I fear walking in my local park for the same reasons. There are men everywhere under the influence. Men constantly drinking and under the influence of substances in our local square. Men waiting for the bookies to open daily. Parents with children afraid to allow their kids to walk to and from the Lewis terminal. People avoiding walking past the hotel. I see my future in Saggart village is very daunting, as I'm frightened for the future. It's a far cry from the village I lived in for 75 years. I'm very fearful for my 9 grandchildren who live in the area and what will face them in the future. And that's Mary. So I think that's
and that's her observations.
But the main issue we have as residents would be the antisocial behaviour. It's gotten out of hand, really, really bad. Like that letter that was read out there.
From Mary,
yeah, constant drinking, drug taking. You'll see that paraphernalia behind a little tree.
And when you call the Garda Síochána to say, listen, I have concerns about people from the iPass Centre hanging around the local park or whatever it is who are drinking or taking drugs, because obviously a percentage of people, be it no matter where they happen to be from, will drink or take drugs. So, but when have you contacted the guards, and what has been their response to that been?
Yeah, so I was personally at a meeting there recently, about 2 months ago, and with the guards with the local areas, and he said to us, just keep ringing 999. So we do keep ringing 999. They might take 10, 15 minutes to come up, but by the time to come up, the crowd that were drinking have dispersed.
Yeah.
And then, I've only seen this now. I'm not one to put on rumours. I've seen this the other night for myself. I was in the little plaza area opposite the pub, and went down to the church car park. There was 9 people drinking there. A right little party they were having. And we just mentioned, you can't be drinking here, lads. And he moved on. Well, I rang the police also. And when the police came up, they dispersed. They were walking down through the village with bottles of beer in their hands. And the police just drove past them. And one of them just stopped at someone's garden and urinated all over his gate. He came out. He had to go back in because he was in fear. They're not the nicest people. Don't get they might be running from something, but they're not running from war-torn countries.
Well, and he just had on there a few minutes ago what he said. Why isn't there something purpose-built out by the airport where it's not impacting communities as much as it is?
Mm-hmm.
Our community has been so impacted by what's gone on. It's just become a place that's unrecognisable. It's not safe to go out walking. I don't know if you're familiar with Saggart, but we've lovely places to go walking. No one goes for walks anymore because they're too afraid. It's the same with, our cemetery. So many of our graves have been vandalised. Even this morning, one of our graves was damaged. My own mum's grave was vandalised as well because they're all hanging out there and drinking. And taking other substances. So in terms of what the other option is, personally, I think the only other option is exactly what Alan said. Why can't they move it out closer to the airport where no communities and no residential areas are impacted by it? We're bursting at the seams at the moment. The antisocial behaviour is so out of control. I've never seen anything like it. On a daily basis, I have men urinate at my wall, and that's not an exaggeration, that's just facts. And it's very frightening to think that when you walk out your gate, you don't know what you're going to meet or what you're going to be met with.
How far do you live from Citywest?
About 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I want to be fair, quickly if I can. Mia, hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you, Niall? Thanks for having me on.
Mia, you're in Saggart as well. And you're
I am assisting, yes. in Saggart.
And you've been involved in the protest down there at the moment.
In the protest, yes. Yeah. And if I can just highlight, we will be having a car convoy protest on Friday, the 18th of July. And the meeting point is at 7:30 at the car park, the Church of Our Lady of Perpetual Secure in Dublin 18. And that will be going in and around the Minister for Education's constituency and to have an impact, unfortunately, on his area and ask them to put pressure on him to stop the sale of Citywest.
Mm. Do you think you'll be successful in stopping the sale of Citywest? I get the impression that the government are not listening to you.
They're absolutely not listening. And the only TD that has been spoken on our behalf in our area is Paul Dougherty. And the only councillor that has spoken on our behalf is Linda de Courcy. We have had a campaign for the last few months against all, and when I say against, I mean against, because we have had AI responses or none at all from our local politicians. It has been not only a media blackout, so thank you very much for having us on here today. It has been a political blackout. And that's why we're having rolling protests and we're having car protests and we're going to hit businesses and hit people in his constituency. For the fact is that they're ambivalent to it. They have taken 5 years of government contracts as compliance. On their original, which we now find it difficult, as a screenshot snapped of it, on their original statement, they were going to increase the population from 2,300 in Citywest campus by another 1,000.
See, here's the thing, by the way, Jean, or Mia, should I say, I don't know the numbers, and nobody seems to know, because as Linda rightly pointed out, the numbers keep changing all the time. And because people are coming and going and yada, yada, yada. Now, as I said, I know the 764 beds in the hotel, and then God knows how many people, I don't know whether they're all full. God knows how many people are in the conference centre, because that's been turned into an accommodation unit as well. And then between that and the hotel behind it, I think Linda mentioned some hotel behind it as well. There's a heap of people in there too. But
there's another 400 rooms in there, Niall, and that will not be purchased by the government. That will be still on the taxpayers' coffers.
So we're still going to be paying, is what you're saying, even if we paid this money. So the point is, the residents have gone from accepting this, and they have accepted it over the last 5 years. You know, when it was a COVID centre at one stage for vaccinations and all that kind of stuff.
As a temporary measure.
Yeah. And initially, and then when the Ukrainian war started, obviously people accepted that. Look, we can help in any way.
Yeah.
That's fine.
We opened our doors.
And then the iPass then came along and you went, okay, can we not have our hotel?
And we had riots in the conference centres and massive antisocial behaviour.
I've seen that on video.
And no increased Gardaí, no Garda station in Saggart Village. And people say the immediate population of Saggart Village is approximately 4,300. Now, there's a ratio percentage. Now, I am no legal entity, but there's a ratio percentage. It's roughly about 5% of the population ratio in the immediate area. That far exceeds, if you're going to put three on the starting point, 2,300. A couple of months ago, it was 2,500. Now, there's also, whether people are aware...
Make it quick if you can. I've literally got 1 minute left here, Mia, but go on.
There's social housing development, where we have been told, because we have been told through the grapevine, time and time again, because we have no direct communication or negotiation in the 5 years, no extra services, no extra amenities, nothing has been provided to the village of Saggart with them 5 years of that contract on a temporary basis. There are now 247 social housing development gone up on Citywest campus, which we're told is the Ukrainians have been put into there for the new process of the IPA centre. There's another
So to wrap it up quickly, because I have to finish, because I've had so many people on today, and I'm not trying to cut you short, me, or cut you off. What I'm saying is, to wrap it up, is that you accepted it up to now on a temporary basis, but now the locals see this is not going to be solved. This is a long-term situation now, because they're buying the hotel. So this is going to go on and on and on. And at the best, the government will turn around to you and say, here's a few million quid for a local football field or something like that. That's the best they're probably going to get out of it.
It's not satisfactory. Unbelievably unso. They have the NGOs giving out tents in Citywest to people who have been refused and are in our parks. NGOs that are given 55,000 every 3 months to do this.
It was quite bizarre last year when we seen the NGOs being given money to buy tents, and then the government having to pay then companies to come along and take the tents back away again and bin them all, which is what a waste of taxpayers' money. Listen, Mia, thank you very much indeed. Rian, thank you very much indeed. Thank you everybody, by the way, from the air.